Hey everyone, I'm Margaret, 25 years old and an aspiring artist. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine I'd be sharing a story about how my own grandmother tried to burn me with boiling water. But here we are. It all started 2 years ago when my mom Sarah passed away. She was my best friend, my rock, and losing her felt like a piece of my soul had been ripped out. The only thing that gave me comfort was the beautiful collection of jewelry she left behind. Each piece carried a memory, a story. After Mom died, I stayed in the family home with my grandma Martha. At first, it was comforting, like having a small part of Mom still with me. But things started to get strange when Frank entered the picture. "Margaret, dear, have you met Frank? He's such a gentleman," Grandma said one day, smiling brightly. I forced a smile back. "Nice to meet you, Frank." Frank, a charming 60-year-old widower, started visiting more frequently. I wanted to be happy for Grandma, but something about him just didn't sit right with me. My best friend Zoe noticed too. One afternoon, over coffee, Zoe said, "Liv, don't you think it's time you got your own place? Your grandma's acting like a teenager with this Frank guy." I sighed. "I know, but I can't just leave her. Besides, all of Mom's stuff is still there." Zoe gave me a knowing look. "Your mom would want you to live your life, not babysit your grandma." She had a point, but I felt like I needed to stay. Work was my only escape. I've been doing graphic design at a small firm, trying to save up for art supplies. That's when I met Ethan. "Hey Margaret, check out this design I'm working on," Ethan called out one day. I leaned over, catching a whiff of his cologne. "Wow, that's amazing. I wish I could create like that." He smiled. "Are you kidding? Your work is incredible. You should really think about doing your own art full-time." I blushed, a little flutter in my chest. Ethan saw the artist in me that I was trying to bring out, but every time I thought I was moving forward, something at home pulled me back. Like when I met Frank's son, Derek, at a family dinner. "So Margaret," Derek said, glancing between me and his dad. "How long have Frank and your grandma known each other?" I shrugged. "A few months, I guess." "Why?" His expression tightened. "No reason. Just curious." His tone made me uneasy, but before I could ask more, Grandma burst into the room. "I have wonderful news, everyone," she exclaimed, beaming. "Frank and I are getting married." The room fell silent, and it felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. "Married? Grandma, isn't this a bit sudden?" I asked, shocked. She waved me off. "Oh, pish posh. When you know, you know." As everyone congratulated them, I couldn't shake the growing dread. Something was very wrong, and I had no idea how bad it was about to get. In the weeks following Grandma's engagement announcement, everything spiraled into chaos. One afternoon, I overheard her on the phone, her voice tense. "I'll get the money, I promise. Just give me more time." When I asked her about it, she snapped at me. "It's none of your business, Margaret. Can't an old woman have some privacy?" I backed off, but my suspicions only grew. Then things got worse. I noticed that Mom's antique locket was missing from my dresser. "Grandma, have you seen Mom's locket?" I asked, trying to keep calm. She avoided eye contact. "Oh, that old thing. I must have moved it while cleaning. Don't worry about it." But I was worried. I called Zoe in a panic. "Zoe, I think Grandma's up to something shady. Mom's jewelry is disappearing, and she's acting all secretive about money." Zoe paused. "That doesn't sound good. Liv, want me to dig around?" A few days later, Zoe called with some disturbing news. "Liv, you're not going to like this. Your grandma's drowning in debt. And that Frank guy? He's been known to cozy up to wealthy widows and disappear with their money." My stomach dropped. "Oh God, Zoe, what do I do?" She replied, "Keep your eyes open. We need solid proof." For the next week, I watched Grandma closely. The final straw came when I saw her sneaking out early one morning with Mom's jewelry box tucked under her arm. I followed her to a shady pawn shop, and there she was, selling off piece after piece of my mother's jewelry. I couldn't hold back any longer. "Grandma, what are you doing?" I shouted as I burst into the shop. She turned, guilt and anger flashing across her face. "Margaret, you followed me. How could you?" "That's Mom's jewelry. It's all I have left of her." I cried, my voice trembling with hurt and anger. Her eyes hardened. "You don't understand. Frank and I need the money for our new life together. Your mother would have wanted me to be happy." By selling her memories, by lying to me, I was shaking with disbelief and rage. "You ungrateful child," she spat. "After everything I've done for you." She grabbed a kettle of boiling water from behind the counter. Before I could react, she hurled it at me. Searing pain exploded across my arm and shoulder, and I screamed, stumbling backward into a glass display case, the shattering glass mixing with my cries of agony. I looked up at Grandma's face. There was no concern, no regret, just cold, hard anger. As I crumpled to the floor, clutching my burned arm, one thought crystallized in my mind. The grandmother I had known and loved was gone. In her place stood a stranger, someone who had shattered the last shred of trust between us. The pawnshop owner rushed back in, yelling about calling an ambulance, but my focus was on Grandma Martha, gathering up the jewelry with trembling hands. In that moment, as the searing pain threatened to pull me under, I made a silent vow. This betrayal wouldn't break me. It would be the fuel I needed to reclaim my life and my mother's legacy, no matter the cost. The next few weeks were a blur of hospital visits, police reports, and tears. The burns on my arm and shoulder were healing, but the emotional scars, those ran deep. Zoe was my rock. "You're staying with me," she insisted, helping me pack up my things from Grandma's house. No arguments. I didn't have the energy to fight her. As we loaded the last box into Zoe's car, Grandma Martha came out, her voice trembling. "Margaret, please, can we talk?" I couldn't even look at her. "There's nothing to talk about. You made your choice." A few days later, I got a surprising call from Derek, Frank's son. "Margaret, it's Derek. I heard what happened, and I'm so sorry. There's something you need to know about my dad." We met at a coffee shop, and Derek laid it all out. Frank had a history. Charming wealthy widows, draining their bank accounts and disappearing without a trace. Grandma Martha was just his latest target. "I've tried to stop him before," Derek said, his voice heavy with guilt. "But he always weasels out of it. Maybe this time, with your help, we can finally put an end to it." I hesitated. I'm not sure I can handle any more drama. But Zoe, ever the fighter, wasn't about to let it go. "We can't let them get away with this, Liv. We need a plan." Over the next week, we devised a scheme. Derek would play along with Frank's plan, pretending to help with the wedding, while we worked with the pawnshop owner to set up a sting operation. "I feel bad for ratting out your grandma," the pawnshop owner admitted when we approached him. "But what she did to you, that ain't right." As we fine-tuned the plan, Ethan was my steady support. He'd come over after work, bringing food and offering a shoulder to lean on. But I found myself pulling away. The fear of being hurt again was overwhelming. One night, as we sat on Zoe's couch, Ethan reached for my hand. I flinched. "Liv, talk to me," he said, his voice pleading. "What's going on in that head of yours?" I couldn't meet his eyes. "I'm sorry, Ethan. I can't. Everyone I've trusted has betrayed me. My own grandmother tried to." I choked up, unable to finish the sentence. Ethan's voice was soft. "I'm not them, Margaret. I would never hurt you like that." "That's why I thought about Grandma, too," I whispered. The hurt in his eyes was clear, but he didn't push. "I understand. Just know I'm here. Okay, whatever you need." The day of the sting operation arrived. We had set up hidden cameras in the pawn shop and wired Derek for sound. The plan was for him to bring Grandma Martha and Frank to the shop under the pretense of selling family heirlooms to fund the wedding. I watched from a distance as they entered the shop. Grandma clutched her purse tightly, and Frank's arm was draped around her shoulders. But even from where I stood, I could see the predatory glint in his eyes. As the door closed behind them, I took a deep breath. Whatever happened next would change everything. I just hoped we were ready for it. The day of reckoning finally arrived, and I stood in the back of the packed courthouse, heart racing as the judge read out the verdict. Frank's smug smile vanished as the words "guilty on all counts" echoed through the room. After the trial, I left my grandmother's house for the last time, finishing the final bit of packing. As I glanced up, I saw Grandma watching from the window. Our eyes met briefly before she quickly drew the curtains. That was the last time I ever saw her. With the nightmare behind me, I threw myself into my art. The pain, the betrayal, the healing, it all poured out onto my canvases. Ethan was by my side through it all. One night, as he studied my latest piece, he said, "These are incredible, Liv. You're turning your pain into something beautiful." I leaned into him, feeling safe for the first time in months. I couldn't have done it without you. Zoe, always the unstoppable force, helped me set up my studio. This is just the beginning, she declared as we painted the walls together. You're going to be huge, Liv. I can feel it. And she was right. My first small exhibition sold out in a week. Then came a feature in a local art magazine, and before I knew it, galleries in the city were calling. The night of my exhibition opening, I looked around at the vibrant crowd, at my art lining the walls, and at Ethan smiling proudly from across the room. Asterisk to new beginnings, asterisk, I whispered to myself, raising my glass. And to the family we choose. The pain of betrayal had forged me into something stronger, something unbreakable. As I clinked glasses with my friends, I silently thanked the hardships that had led me here. They hadn't broken me, they had set me free. Now I have a question for you. If you were in my shoes, would you ever forgive Martha for what she did? Is there a line that, once crossed, makes reconciliation impossible, even with family? Share your thoughts in the comments below.